Okay, hello everyone. My name is Laquan Williams, and today in this video, I'm going to be doing my review for the season finale of the 7th season of DC Legends of Tomorrow that aired on the CW TV network on March the 2nd, 2022. And essentially, a couple of days ago, we saw basically the end of this season, and basically, what we're all waiting, obviously, is to see if the show actually is picked up and renewed for 8th season. If it is not, I actually don't care. I've been tired of the show for the past couple of years now, and I've watched the show from the very beginning, the first episode, because I've been watching all the CW TV networks on the network as far as current and obviously former shows. I picked up on the Flash and obviously the Green Arrow when they had their second and third season going. I picked up on the Flash at the end of the first season, actually. The first episode I ever saw of The Flash was on TV when it was revealed that Reverse Flash was actually Harrison Wells, when the whole entire team figured it out. And he revealed himself to Barry and everybody, and he said, "Yes, it's me. And I'm obviously the one who killed your mother, and the reason why you're living in a constant pain and misery and suffering, and why your dad's in jail at Iron Heights, obviously because of obviously me killing your mother and him being framed for it, obviously." And I started watching the Green Arrow at the end of the second season. Actually, the third season, I picked back up and started watching everything on Netflix. Season, second season. So then once the third season came out on Netflix, I got to catch up to it, and now I was watching the whole show, and I was completely and totally caught up after binge watching it. Then came Legends of Tomorrow and Black Lightning, and obviously now Superman and Lois, and I've been watching all of them since the first episode, obviously in the very beginning. And we can see obviously now the difference between the show of Legends of Tomorrow now in the seventh season versus compared to, which was about 108-9 episodes ago, versus now in the seventh season. Obviously, the first couple of seasons were way more interesting and better than the show is now. Less comedic jokes. It was more serious. The overall tone was better. The villains were more serious. They were not jokes because obviously they're immense, huge, hugely the word is power. They were very scary. Obviously, you didn't mess with them. Obviously, Vandal Savage, obviously Damien Dark, Neuron, the rest of the villains that have been on the show. The last two seasons, they used the same guy to play Bishop as the villain, and he's a complete and total joke. He is a Disney villain on a show that's supposed to be for teenagers and older adults, where all the superheroes are in their mid to late 30s and possibly early 40s. None of them have kids on the show, obviously, but I don't know about the real life and personal life off the show. That's not important, obviously. I'm just focused on what's going on the show. The writing has been abysmal. The show's gone down the drain. I'm glad Donald Faison was on it, but he can't save the show, even though he's a great actor. He's very funny. I've been a fan of Donald Faison since Clueless, when I grew up watching it in the late 90s. Early 90s. I was born in 1991, but when Clueless came out in the TV show, I've seen it all multiple times. They even had a show after the movie was over. Unfortunately, Alicia Silverstone was not on the show. Somebody else replaced her, but that's not relevant, obviously. But I just had to bring that up as far as relevance to me being a fan of Donald Faison. Him playing Booster Gold was not revealed actually until the actual last 20 seconds of the episode. He said his name was Mike. He told the whole entire team his name was Mike, and he's going to help them out and save time, and whoever sent him, I don't know. I'm guessing it's the Time Masters, because as you can see at the end of the episode here, they got arrested, and he said, "Yeah, these cuffs that I have on my hands, you guys are about to get some too right now." Then Booster Gold, aka Donald Faison, aka Mike, said, "The legends are here. You guys can come on in now." And they all got guns pointed at them. Everybody laid face down, put their hands on the floor, and Sarah Lance asked, "What the hell's going on?" to Mike slash Booster Gold, who revealed at the end his name finally, because obviously that was revealed weeks ago. I even talked about it in one of my videos. I think it was the season 7 episode 10 episode review, where it was announced that Donald Faison's going to be playing Booster Gold on the show. He didn't even reveal his name to the end of the episode. Pretty kind of weird if you ask me, kind of cheap. I don't know, the writers decided to do that, like, "Oh my god, look, hey everybody, look, it's Booster Gold" at the end. It's like, why couldn't you say it at the beginning? And for the people who don't even know who he is, so that I can look into him. But obviously, they're kind of like, "Well, what's going on?" And now he says his name is Mike. Now it's Booster Gold. And after, just like with Sarah Lance, she's like, "Mike or Booster, whatever the hell your name is, what's going on?" He said, "Yeah, we're about to be cellmates, or we're going to jail together." I don't know if the Time Masters are involved again, but this time Rip Hunter is in charge, because if you remember, the Time Masters actually acted like they were actually what's it called, a credible council, and obviously not just credible, but authoritarian figures over them, just like the TVA and low-key the Time Variance Authority. They are the ones who call the shots as far as the timelines being kept intact with the future, past, and present. If you get out of line, they come after you and they send their bounty hunters, or just like obviously Rip Hunter had to deal with them, obviously sending bounty hunters after him and whatnot, and other various allies and enemies. They were corrupted, obviously were behind the scenes working with Vandal Savage, which hurt the Legends of Tomorrow, obviously here. Not the same people were on the show a couple of years ago, obviously. The cast has changed because people have come and gone and left. And somebody else who left, you don't not see here, is Nate, aka Captain Steele. He has gone off the show. The actor playing him, is no longer going to be on the show. Will he come back in a couple episodes in the 5th season? The show gets an 8th and final season? Yes, but he's gone. His powers are gone. When they were fighting in World War I, the Legends went back to the past. He got hit with mustard gas and shot at with bullets. Obviously, the bullets bounce off him because he has a steel skin. When he changes into that, like Colossus, obviously in Marvel's the X-Men, he is their Colossus, but he's not obviously big and huge and bulky. Nick's obviously lean muscle, very obviously very thin and tall, but like I said, with him turning into Steele, he's obviously very helpful to the team. The mustard gas corroded and ate through like acid on his skin. He was burnt. He's barely alive. He survived, so he gets to live just without his powers. He can't steal up anymore like he used to say, and obviously become Mr. Steele or Captain Steele. Will there's be some type of magic or I guess you can say help that will help give him aid to become that again, possibly in the near future, one last time when if the show gets an eighth and final season. It's possible. I have no idea. I'm not sure. Basically, what happened is, and once the whole entire team found out that Dr. Gwen Davis, who is played by Matt Ryan right here, who obviously played John Constantine on the show for the past 4 or 5 years, who he plays his character now, because obviously J.J. Abrams and his Bad Robot production company are working on a John Constantine show that's supposed to be dark and gritty on HBO Max. It's going to be coming out possibly next year. The guy who's playing him is unknown, and the race of the person is black. So a black John Constantine who's British, who is going to be on HBO Max. So he can't play the character anymore. So it was announced obviously several months ago that that's the case. I already talked about that in my previous videos. He's playing a different character, but they had to kill John Constantine off in order to do that because they can't use that character on the CW TV network anymore. So he went back to the past to help his boyfriend here, Alan, survive the death of him getting shot in World War I, where he was with him. They were both soldiers, but he obviously was scared to help him when he got shot and was dying, so he obviously had to live with that regret. He broke the trust that they had with each other and the treaty that they had and deal that they made with evil Gideon. In the regular Gideon, he was human form right here. The AI system is obviously the evil version of her, where they said they were not going to be Legends of Tomorrow anymore, time traveling, none of that. They were all going to live regular lives, and they would visit each other once every week to see how everybody's doing. He broke that promise and trust, and he went back into the past to change things, but a fixed point is what he obviously ran into, which means that Alan had to die in every scenario, or the timeline would be screwed up. But a fixed point is something that is supposed to stay intact. You can't change it. It can't be messed with because, like I said, fixed. They're supposed to stay as is, because if obviously they all learned that. We've been learning that the past couple of months now that they added these terms in for the show. A fixed point, you can't change that specific timeline or scenario. If you do, you are going to obviously be killed, and the Time Masters or anybody else who's an authoritarian figure will come after you, and you will be obviously arrested, locked up, thrown in outer space, and also killed. So that's what happened. The whole entire team found out. They went after him after they had their couple of visits where they were checking up on each other. Everybody was bored, depressed, not happy with their lives, and they're no longer being superheroes and legends. So that was obvious that, they can't have regular lives anymore outside of this. Obviously, that's why it was kind of silly to say, oh yeah, well, they retired this season, at the end of this season, then they come back, then they're going to do another season, then that's one more season, then they're going to retire again. That's it. It's all really tedious and obviously annoying. Best bet would be for them to obviously finish the 8th season if they get one, and obviously have everyone have their memories erased, so they would no longer remember that they were actually legends at all. Everybody goes back to their respective timelines in their lives, and they don't remember anything. That's the only thing that's possible for this to actually happen, so they can actually not have to worry about retirement and we want to get back to doing that. Or they have some other team that they train to take their place, which might be a possibility. Those are the only two possibilities I can see taking place. I have no idea. season finale was okay. The fighting battle scene at the end was basically kind of okay, but nothing really too special. Donald Faison helped bring the show's the comedic energy to the show, and obviously he was very fun and nice. Like I said before, it's nice to see him on the show, but the show has been long and dull and very boring. He can't save the show, but he can try to bring something different to it. But we'll see what happens. So Gideon was fighting her version of herself. They copied the Terminator 2 Judgment Day movie down to the literally Esperanza, aka Spooner, right here, grabbing the sawed-off shotgun, shooting at the robot Gideon like she was Arnold Schwarzenegger in Terminator 2 Judgment Day, trying to save John Connor, who is obviously the victim here, obviously, the human version of the AI system Gideon right here. I was like, really? And they even shot her in the face. There was two versions of her, and she was moving around very fast and punching and hitting everybody, and had you can see the robotic face and skin peeling off. I'm like, so you guys are copying Terminator Judgment Day 2 and a comic book TV show called Legends of Tomorrow. I was just like laughing, like, this is comical and very terrible, because that movie was great. This show has gone down the drain, and I can watch the movie over and over again. I get bored. I watched the first couple of seasons of Legends of Tomorrow, and then that'll be it. Watching the last two would be very painful, obviously, but if you've been watching it for years, just like myself, you can understand how bad it's been. The fifth season was fine. It was decent. After that, like, the last two have been terrible. Having Bishop as the villain on the show repeatedly is very annoying. Even if the Flash or Green Arrow would do that, it would be annoying too. It's like, well, for 2 seasons or 3, we'll have the Flash has Abracadabra as the villain for 2 seasons, because Abracadabra is actually a villain on the Flash. If Abracadabra was the villain on the Flash for 2 seasons, more than likely myself and possibly you and other people watching will be bored. You'd be like, wow, I'm actually missing the Reverse Flash. Even though he's a giant a-hole, at least I know I'm gonna get something different than just to have an Abracadabra play the villain on the Flash for 2 seasons, and Barry and Team Flash, obviously Barry Allen, they're fighting him for 2 seasons, and it gets very boring and tedious and annoying. And you see him all the time, so there's no secret allure about him. There's no surprise. He's just like, here he is again as the bad guy, Bishop. Or, if, like I said, the example would be on the other CW TV network, The Flash, which will be back on another week and a half to possibly 2 weeks on the same network. If Abracadabra was the villain on The Flash for 2 seasons, you'd be bored. I would also be bored too, because it's just like, okay, just move on. Can we move on now to somebody else? Like, bring back the Reverse Flash, or bring back Damian Dark and let Barry Allen and Team Flash fight him. That's what we've been seeing on the Legends of Tomorrow show over and again, repeatedly. And like I said, it's been very boring and annoying. Sarah Lance is pregnant because her and Ava kissed each other, because she's an alien. That makes her pregnant, apparently. And Sarah Lance no longer has any powers or abilities, so she is mortal. She can't regenerate, and if she gets shot or killed again, she'll die. Gary explained that to her, that now that all your powers have gone to your baby, and it's obviously a daughter, because we saw a future video of them looking at her and saying, "Hi, moms, I'm doing well. We're at summer camp having fun. Love you, miss you." And they said, "Oh, look, we have a daughter. She's so cute." So they already revealed that they have a daughter. How that's going to happen, obviously, well, with the show gets to 8th season, they will have a futuristic, I guess, reunion episode at the end, where everybody's 10 to 15 years possibly removed from being Legends of Tomorrow, and Sarah Lance and Ava Sharp will have their daughter with her. Bishop, he's gone. He's no longer the villain. Ava Sharp said, "I'm going to be pregnant with a surrogate," but that obviously was a talk about for about a couple of minutes of the show, maybe like 7 minutes. Then towards the end of the show, Gary told Sarah Lance, "I know you're pregnant. I know, because I'm an alien. I can tell, because you're obviously half alien because you've been cloned." And Sarah Lance had to ask Gary, "Are you sure?" He said, "Yes, I am. I'm positive. You're pregnant. All your powers are gone. You can't regenerate. When you no longer have super healing. They've all gone to your baby," which is their daughter that they're going to have, Ava Sharp and Sarah Lance. Obviously, Booster Gold is not going to be is going to be replacing Bishop, who obviously is played by Donald Faison, the actor. The guy who played Bishop, I thought was actually going to join the team, because there was talks of that, and replace Nick Zano. I think that's the actor's name that plays Captain Steele, aka Mr. Steele, aka Nate on here. He's not replacing him, so Bishop's going to be gone finally. I hope he doesn't pop back up randomly at the end of the next season, if they actually get an 8th and final season. But it was okay. I guess the Time Masters are back in some type of way, and they're going to be arresting them. I guess it's going to be a new version of them, where Rip Hunter is going to bring the Legends in and say, "I gave you guys multiple chances, but you keep screwing this up. obviously, I don't know if Rip Hunter's involved, but what Mike, aka Booster Gold, who's played by Donald Faison, said, the guys who sent me here really told me that I need to stick to doing my job, or else I can be in trouble. So I don't know, obviously, if Rip Hunter is one of the people he's talking about as far as the Time Master is going, because there'll be a council of people, usually about 4 or 5 people, obviously, and we'll see what happens with that. But that's basically been the end of the season. Like I said before, if it gets 8th season, I will not be happy, but I'll review it. If it doesn't get one, I really don't care. But like I said, I'll review it either way because I've just been reviewing the show for the past couple of years. I've watched the show from the beginning, even though from the first season pilot episode. But even though, like I said, that's the case, I'm just gonna finish it out and just have to sit through another a couple of weeks of doing it. Because the reason why is because, like I said, when shows are going down the drain for years, you're just like, man, is this ever gonna change? Where your favorite sports team tanks, and you're just like, are they gonna get better? Are things actually gonna improve? And when it does not seem to be the case, you just kind of say, just well, whatever. I'll just keep looking until something changes, or just kind of not really worry about it. But thankfully, there's so many other TV shows to watch and focusing on. Shows like Superman and Lois and obviously The Flash have been very fun and entertaining for me the past couple of years, along with Black Lightning, who's no longer obviously on TV anymore, and the Green Arrow. They were more fun and entertaining. Even during the last seasons, obviously, some stuff got me a little upset, but it was more consistent over time than these shows because the overall tone was more serious, obviously. The threats were serious and the stakes were serious. These guys aren't, because they're all together. The rest of these superheroes like Superman, Lois, the Green Arrow, and Black Lightning, the stakes are always high because not only are they protecting the citizens of the cities that they're living in and the world, they're also having to protect their family because they're family, men and women, obviously. With the Flash, obviously, Team Flash, Green Arrow, his family, his kids, obviously Black Lightning being a superhero dad with his kids who are also superheroes. So obviously the stakes were much higher. They're obviously saving each other, but they're all friends. They're not family. None of these guys are related except Bayrod, who is where is actually he at? I can't see him right now. Zari is right here. Bayrod, I think he's on right here on the. I actually don't see him right now. I think he's possibly on this side, but he's actually not in the frame at all in the picture. I don't see him at all. But the only people that are related to her are Zari and Bayrod, who are obviously brother and sister. But I actually don't see him anywhere. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, I think he's over here on the side. Booster Gold's on this side. I think he might be over here. But anyways, yeah, that's basically it. We'll see what happens when the show, if his show gets renewed for an 8th and final season. That was basically it. Yeah, so basically they had to stop Alan from screwing up time itself. He knew that. You know what's funny? He invented the time machine that they've been using, and he still screwed up and went back in time to fix things. And even though he knew he could not do that, he tried to trick Gideon's, the evil AI system version of Gideon, and she was destroyed, obviously, with the whole entire ship. But oh yes, and I'll get back to that in a minute. But basically, he did that. He knew that was going to happen. He tried to replace a cyborg version of Alan, his lover, boyfriend, with the regular version, the robot version, with the regular one. Then he tried to save him because he knew that actually didn't work. So obviously he screwed up. The whole team had to save him. Evil Gideon got involved. Regular Gideon got involved and said, "You guys made a promise you were going to do that." They said that they weren't going to leave anybody behind. He can't die. He did die. They went back to go save him. But like I said, if he's inventing time travel with his machine and he knew this was going to happen, why do it and risk yourself? He did get killed. They showed him getting shot, but the team had to go back in time to help him out and save him and obviously fix that whole situation and tell him what he did wrong. Now, as far as the situation with Evil Gideon being blown up on the ship, the Wave Rider, I don't know if they obviously get another. They obviously got another version of it, so another one. So obviously they're fine, but they won't be able to have that because whoever's taking them in custody right here, which looks like obviously is the Time Masters, because they're the only people that can do that because they have the authority to over the timeline itself. Like I said, comparing them to the TVA, the Time Variance Authority on the Loki's show, which is DC Comics, is the same thing basically. When people go back in time and they're working for them in the future to fix issues, they keep the timelines intact and they tell you what to do. You can't go over anything or you'll be erased, or they can drop you in a different timeline, kill you, capture you, and obviously imprison you. So anyways, the ship blowing up. What happened at the end was actually, so this is what's funny. They copied 2 different movies. One was Dark, I would say Dark Phoenix of X-Men / obviously, actually it is Dark Phoenix, X-Men, Dark Phoenix, and obviously Terminator Judgment Day 2. So at the end, so I already compared the Terminator Judgment 2 situation of the fight where Evil Gideon fought regular Gideon, the AI system. There was 2 versions of them fighting each other. Spooner, aka Esperanza, had the double barrel shotgun shooting at them. The cyber version, the skin melting off its face, and you can see the robotic parts and stuff. I was like, wow, this is they're copying Terminator Judgment 2. Obviously, Arnold Schwarzenegger's not here, so I thought that was actually not that it wasn't funny. It was actually crappy and pathetic, and it was not paying homage to it. The actual movie was just like, hey guys, look, you guys want some random nostalgia factor to be thrown in. Look at this. I'm like, really? Like, I'd rather watch Judgment Day 2 than watch this. That movie came out when I was barely like 6 months old. It was 91. I was born in 91. I think it came out in June. I was born in September. So I saw the movie like later on, obviously, when I was like 7, 8, 9, 10, around that time. In late to mid to late 90s, obviously, late 2000s, you can say basically. But anyways, Dark Phoenix mode. So at the end, when the ship blows up, Esperanza, aka Spooner, and Zari are on there with Gideon, human version right here. All three of them are huddled up together. Evil Gideon is in his chair of the seat of the Wave Rider, and she self-destructs and blows them all up. They all die, but she thought they died. What happened was a big red energy field was around them all, and they were floating in space, literally almost dying, but they were surviving. So apparently, eyes rolled back, went dark mode. Like, I was like, wow. So right here, Azra, she's Jean Grey. She just went Dark Phoenix, and it was like, I was like, they really copying X-Men too. I was like, this is pathetic. Like, really, on a Marvel on a DC show, they're copying X-Men. They were in space. Literally, I was like literally, all the aura around them was all red because it was a force field. She was protecting them all, and she screaming loud, her eyes rolling back. I'm like, wow, she's going Dark Phoenix mode. So I guess Azra is the Jean Grey of the show now. She's unlocked her full potential, and just like how you saw in the X-Men Dark Phoenix movie, just like the previous one, obviously X-Men 3 in 2006, and obviously the one that came out in 2018 that a lot of people hated. I didn't have a problem with it, minus the ending that we know that was changed, obviously, because of Marvel was appeasing Captain Marvel, the movie with Brie Larson. They changed that ending to appease the people working on that movie. So X-Men Dark Phoenix's ending was obviously changed because Captain Marvel's ending and the fight scene in outer space was the exact same thing. They screwed over X-Men to save Captain Marvel, which I hate still to this day because X-Men was here first before Captain Marvel in the 90s, the video games, the TV shows, everything. Animated movies, the 90s ones. I'm like, Captain Marvel just came out a couple of years ago. As far as popularity, X-Men's been around for like the late 90s and, like I said, the early 2000s with all the movies, the Wolverine movies, the X-Men Days of Future Past, the Apocalypse movie, obviously. So they have about 6 movies. Captain Marvel only has 1, so I'm still pissed off about that. And all other hardcore Marvel fans who are X-Men fans are as well, and possibly yourself. So they copied Dark Phoenix. She went Dark Phoenix mode, and this big huge aura of red all around her kept them in the barrier of a force field energy wave intact. So all 3 of them were safe. Her, obviously Azra doing the magic powers. Using her magic powers to unlock her full potential, so she's completely past the apprentice mode of John Constantine because he's no longer on the show. So she's obviously by herself. She's gotten more powerful, and she used to rule hell herself. I guess you can call her. I don't know about. She was somewhat the devil, I guess. But anyways, higher up, not the devil though. Anyways, capturing souls. I guess you can call her collector / demon, but she's not a demon. She's human. Anyway, she's got magical powers. She's basically a witch. So essentially, yeah, she kept her and Spooner and right here, and Gideon safe in her force field barrier. It was all red. And like I said, when I saw it yesterday, a couple days ago, I said, so Azra as now Jean Grey, they're copying X-Men and also the second Terminator movie, Judgment Day, with Arnold Schwarzenegger. And I was like, this is pathetic. So that's what they decided to do. I don't know why randomly they did decide to do that, but that's what it happened on the show. So I guess DC's copying Marvel now. It's really weird, but we'll see what happens. Like I said, when the show comes back on, well, actually, if the show comes back on, it gets the 8th and final season. If it does, it'll be cut down to 10 episodes or 8 in total, for a 2-part series for both episodes, where half of it is them trying to escape out of prison for the Time Masters. The other half is them obviously trying to get back at them and save the timeline itself, and anything else not compared to anything else that's dealing with them. Like I said, their family, their friends. If these people go after them and use bounty hunters or robot clones like Evil Gideon and Bishop have done, obviously, to attack them, We have no idea. We'll have to wait and see. I don't know, but it's all just pure speculation at this point. But like I said, that's the end of my video and my review for Legends of Tomorrow Season 7 finale. Episode 13 is the final episode. The 6th season had 15, and before that was 14. So every season, the total number of order episodes has been cut down. So that's why I said the last season will be either 8 to 10 episodes long in total. If they're not going further than that, 11 would be weird, a weird number. It would just be 8 or 10. Or possibly even 6. We have no idea. We'll have to wait and see, obviously, if it actually gets renewed for 8th season. And like I said, that's the end of my video. In my review for Legends of Tomorrow, Season 7, Episode 13, their season finale for Season 7. The show has been average the past couple of years in this review for that, and great for that. And this season finale has been average as well. Other than Booster Gold, who's obviously being played by Donald Faison, nothing was exciting on the show at all. Just that, basically. That's basically it. Hopefully, obviously, Donald Faison obviously is out in the whole entire season. More than likely, will be if they get an 8th and final season. But we'll see what happens with that. Like I said before, that's the end of my review and my video. Thanks for watching it. Let me know if you actually have not been watching the show for the past couple of years, because a lot of people, myself included, you're upset and pissed off, but you still watch it. Is it possible? If you do, I don't know. If I have been since the first episode in this first season, or if you stop because, like I said, you're either burnt out or you're just frustrated with the creativity, their lack of creativity on the show, and obviously the terrible writing, which insert jokes randomly here don't fit very well together with the overall tone and the general random punchlines of, do you guys get the joke? That is this funny? Are you entertained? Kind of like downplaying your intelligence level, obviously, is what you see on the show with the writers on Legends of Tomorrow, which we don't see on Superman and Lois, obviously the Flash, who don't go overboard with their humor. But like I said, that's just how this has been for the past couple of years. But that's the end of my video. Thanks again for watching. Goodbye. Thank you.